All right. So, as somebody that is considered a weightlifter, protein is probably, alongside with calories, is probably going to be the number one importance to make sure that you're consuming in adequate amounts. So, just to go through briefly, as a male, ranging from about 205 to 208 in pounds, and your training schedule is about 90 minutes a day of heavy loads and then 60 minutes a day of lighter loads like accessory work. So basically, you're working out resistance training for almost 2.5 hours a day, if not more. Um, so, in that sense, I would recommend 3 meals a day plus 4 to 5 snacks a day that are pretty high in calorie as well as protein and carbs. The protein is really going to provide you with that muscle protein synthesis and muscle recovery after that resistance training, while the carbohydrates are going to provide you with that extra energy as well. So, for the calories that I recommended for you, I suggested about 60 to 65 kcals per kilogram of day um, per day, which comes out to be about 5,600 to 6,100 kcals a day. And I rounded that to about just like 6,000 calories plus a day. So that's sort of like the goal. Um, for carbohydrates, I did 8 to 9 grams per kilogram of body weight a day, which is about 50 to 55% of your total energy coming from carbohydrates. And for protein, we do 3 to 3.2 grams per kilogram of body weight a day, which is about 18 to 20% of your total energy coming from protein. And then lastly, fat, I have zero point 0.8 to 1 gram per kilogram of body weight, which is about 10 to 15% of your total energy. Um, so going through as a meal plan that I sort of created for you for breakfast, being your number one meal, assuming that this is the meal before your exercise. So breakfast slash pre-exercise meal. I wanted to include a combination of high protein that contained those essential amino acids, as well as a carbohydrate source in order to maximize that muscle protein synthesis during your training. So an example for breakfast would be scrambled eggs, which consists of 3 regular eggs and 1 cup of egg whites. And then whole grain toast, 2 slices of whole grain toast with a half avocado spread on each slice, and then 1 medium banana. So this is providing you with the essential amino acids as well as the carbohydrates for energy. And that comes out to be almost 872 kcals and 48 grams of protein, 80 grams of carbohydrates, and 40 grams of fat. So then moving on to snack number one, this meal is going to be ingested in your intra-exercise phase. So in this, because you're working out for 2.5 hours, I would recommend having some sort of um, little snack just to keep you going throughout your workout, as well as really promoting um, muscle synthesis. So the snack number one is consisting of a carbohydrate for that prolonged energy, as well as protein um, in the middle of the workout, which will help maintain favorable anabolic hormone profile, as well as minimize and increase any muscle damage. So for a snack number one, I suggested something like 1 cup of plain oatmeal with blueberries, half a scoop of whey protein, so a protein supplement just because it's easy, and 1 tablespoon of peanut butter. This is something that you can easily make as like an overnight oats sort of thing, or just something that you can have meal prepped ahead of time so that all you have to do is bring it to the gym or wherever you're weightlifting. This came out to be about 268 kcals, 57 grams of carbs, 11 grams of fat, and 16 grams of protein. Additionally, alongside of that, there has been some promising research addressing the idea that BCAAs, branched chain amino acids, may be beneficial during that intra-workout because they rapidly enter into the bloodstream, which promotes that skeletal muscle synthesis. So I recommended about a 14-gram scoop of BCAA powder mixed with 10 fluid ounces around the time of mid-workout. Within these, the BCAAs contain 3,500 milligrams of leucine, 25 milligrams of glutamine, 1750 milligrams of isoleucine, and 1750 milligrams of valine. The leucine especially is very important in higher doses. This leucine has been shown to independently stimulate and increase protein synthesis. So that's sort of why I put that in there. And then for snack number 2, which is going to occur immediately after post-exercise, immediate because this is where your body has the greatest anabolic sensitivity, which will promote muscle synthesis and muscle hypertrophy. So I recommend a whey supplement because it's extremely simple and easy for on the go. So immediately after your workout, you just mix 1 scoop of powder with 1% milk instead of water to really get those calories plus the protein in the milk itself, and have that immediately post-workout. And then for lunch, which would be your meal number 2, or your post-exercise meal, I suggested something that was still sort of relatively high in protein, because that anabolic sensitivity period, although it is highest up till 6 hours post-workout, it really is remained elevated for 24 hours. Therefore, it's really beneficial to get as much protein in as possible sooner rather than later. So for lunch number 2, I recommend grilled chicken breast, about 6 ounces, with 1 cup of cooked brown rice and 100 grams of sauteed green peppers or zucchini, any sort of vegetable in there, because although we are aiming high for protein and calories, we still want to make sure we're receiving those micronutrient benefits. Additionally, I recommended peanut butter and jelly sandwich on whole grain, just something additional to add on to that lunch, just to really raise the calories and protein in that. And then for snack number 3, I really liked this idea of a protein snack box. So again, because we're eating such a high amount of food, it's really easy to like plan ahead by having these really simple, to go sort of meal prepped items, such as a protein snack box. So in this snack box, you can really make it your own. My suggested or example one is 3 ounces of pastrami, 2 hard-boiled eggs, 1 cup of raw broccoli, 1 cup of baby carrots, 4 tablespoons of Greek yogurt ranch dressing for, the whatever you want to dip in it, the vegetables or whatever, and then 2 cheese sticks. So this is really like a protein dense snack. So I recommended that. It's something very easy and you can modify yourself. And then for dinner or meal 3 of the day, I recommended pork loin, 6 ounces. In this situation, you really can modify your meals as long as you're consuming quality high proteins, something that contains all of those essential amino acids. So it can really be found in anything from beef to poultry to fish to dairy to eggs, stuff like that. As long as you're getting those essential amino acids, because that is considered a complete protein. So for dinner, I recommended a pork loin, a baked sweet potato with butter, baked Brussels sprouts, a mixed green salad with Caesar dressing, maybe croutons and Parmesan cheese, just to have a little Caesar salad on the side. And then for snack number 4, I did an apple, a handful of almonds, and Halo Top ice cream. If you aren't familiar, Halo Top is a high protein ice cream that is really targeted towards the weightlifting community, bodybuilder community. So this ice cream has about 10 grams of protein per cup. So I just recommended something in case you had a sweet tooth. You can obviously switch that up as well. And then lastly, for snack number 5, I recommend doing a slow digesting protein such as casein about 30 minutes prior to bed. It has been found that, consuming this slow digesting protein at night really promotes muscle recovery for athletes. And alongside of that, it keeps satiety and fullness through the night so you don't wake up and like binge eat or something like that. So 1.5 scoops of casein protein, which is about 36 grams of protein, as well as 8 ounces of 1% milk mixed together and drink that. So those are my recommendations for a meal plan for you. Um, when in doubt, if you need extra calories or something like that, snacks throughout the day are really going to be what's your go-to and the easiest thing to really just tack on more calories. But your number one most important is that protein and carbohydrate and calories. So the carbs and the protein within the snacks are going to maximize that rate of muscle protein synthesis, and as well as, so build muscle, but lose that fat. So in the end, you'll have like a maintenance of weight. So those are the recommendations for that, and I hope that helps.